Here at the Middle Class Souls, we like to give credit where credit is due. We like to give not just participation trophies, but real 1 through 6th place trophies. No matter how you dice it, no matter what culture, technology, sport, art, whatever you're in, we like to celebrate achievement and just all around goodness. And there's been some people that have had, or groups of people that have had good weeks, good months. We're about halfway through, or a little bit more than halfway through October. And Murr's boy, his number one fan, Elon, well, not Murr's number one fan, Elon Musk's number one fan, Murr, he's having a hell of a month.
Elon, I'm sure, if you knew me, would be like, you're pretty high up on the list automatically, sir. But yes, by the way, with that storied opening that you just gave, let's get to our inaugural list of the people who had a good week that we've never celebrated in 5 fucking years.
Never.
That's a good point. Hey, we'll start with Elon Musk. What, he had a rocket that was caught by these two, like 4 sets of giant tongs.
Dude, hold on. We got to start. Here's the thing. We got to start back at the beginning because the news cycle moves fast. And Elon had a good October, in my opinion. So
well, I said month. I said month.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, look. So he started out with the robot. Okay. He introduced Optimus to the world. And, okay, Alan, your first thoughts, because sometimes I can't gauge your sarcasm in text form. You did seem rather impressed by Optimus, though, yeah?
No, it was kind of cool. I mean, we're doomed, but yeah, it's like, we're fine. That's cool. It's fucking cool as shit.
Okay,
I like some of its mannerisms are wild. Like, yeah, I don't know. But no,
it's you know what? Its movement
cool.
Looks like it's based on like a character that Kristen Wiig would play on Saturday Night Live. Like, hey, how you doing? Can I get you a drink?
I could see that. That's a good analogy. I don't know. It just had like I saw one. I might have been the clip you sent. Like, there was just something about his speech pattern that was very like human-like. And I was like,
human-like, I think. It sounded like, and I wouldn't put it past Elon to purposefully make it sound like Hal from Space Odyssey 2001. But when we're all nervous about robots, maybe that's not the robot to model the fucking voice pattern after.
Yeah. I will. The only, and I don't know, perhaps AI will get this because it's not a human brain. The cadence was a tick off. There were some times where there was a tick here, a second there, a little kind of offbeat. But in terms of conversation that it had, the one that I watched, the one that you sent us they were somewhere, in Silicon Valley, and that guy talked to it for probably 2 or 3 minutes. It was genuine questions, not like the first week of Spanish class, like, hola, me llamo Wesley. BBN.
He asked him if he's like, where are you from? Oh, I'm from right around here. He's like, oh, and it asks him like, from the Los Alamos area down by, like, no, actually, like, oh, that's a good place as well. So what can I do for you tonight? Like, holy shit. And then I found another video where Elon had him behind the bar with like cowboy hats on, and they were pouring drinks for people. And the one guy walks up to him and is like, hey, buddy, can you fill that all the way up to the top? And like you said, it did take a beat, but it was like, yeah, sure thing, partner. And filled it the rest of the way up. I'm like, oh, my God.
Partner.
Yeah, man.
They put it in cowboy mode.
Well, it's a little dial in the back.
There's a couple presets. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so here's the thing. The price point on it, too, sounds... Look, I'm barely a middle class guy, but for $20,000 to $30,000, let's say they get it. Let's just say 25. We'll split the difference.
Okay.
I mean, it is like us buying like a brand new fucking small sedan. But if you could go to work and in the morning before you left for work, you said, "Hey, Optimus, I want you to clean the house. When you're done, I want you to head out back. I've got the mower all gassed up for you. I need you to take care of the lawn for me. And if there's anything else left before I get home, could you, I don't know, maybe get the ingredients for a chicken pot pie out and leave them on the counter. But don't do that until 4 o'clock. Otherwise, everything will fall out and it'll be spoiled." And if he's just like, "Sure thing. See you later, boss." Would that not make your every single day life that much more convenient?
I mean, it would be kind of sweet.
Yeah. Do you get him to whip you up like a some sort of it might drive Starbucks out of business. You got old what did you call it, Optimus in there whipping up these frappuccinos. It's like, oh, I put the extra froth just how you like it, partner.
But yeah, it's a cowboy themed It's a cowboy themed Starbucks though, so
black coffee, just how you like it.
That's all they serve in metal tins.
Uh-huh.
So you go.
But okay, I guess Elon's claiming that this is going to be the greatest selling product of all time once it finally hits the market. Do you buy that, and do you buy it?
No, I don't. I mean, not the first. Well, first of all, I treat this like a gaming system, right? Like, I'm never buying the first iteration. I'll let the bugs get worked out. So, like, but is it going to be the number one selling item like ever? No, because the price point's still out of reach for what I would call like the common man. I think most people exist in the like middle class to like lower middle class. And there's not a ton of expendable income.
Well, wouldn't
there.
it be kind of like I don't know, say cars used to be?
Yeah.
Like,
so I'm thinking,
but you still have cars,
right? But I'm thinking, like, let's just say a household, a husband and wife, or husband and husband, or wife and wife, and a couple of kids. However you want to dice it up, a family structure, and they figure, okay, this 25,000 or 20,000, 25,000 is going to save us X amount of time. Let's have one car, and rather than buy a second, we'll buy this for time. That it's going to save. Now I don't know I don't know the bandwidth of this thing right now. I don't know if it can spit shine your floors and make your bathroom pristine and mow your lawn and edge and all that shit. I've to be seen. And right, you're right. God forbid it's like, nope, I need a firmware update, and then blah, 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 blah.
Well,
that's what they do. That's what they do when they have firmware updates. Yeah.
Maybe you will. Maybe you'll be like that weird fucking Russian guy that I've seen on the internet doing that. You haven't seen that guy?
Was he on Crocodile?
Probably. My point though, Alan, is like, let's say, okay, your neighbor gets one, right? And then you start to see all the shit it does for your neighbor. And you're like, oh, man. Just like a car. Like, hey, how long does it take you to get to work in the morning? Well, it's a 6-mile hike. It only takes me about 3 hours and 45 minutes. And then it's like, all right, Bob, I'll see you tomorrow. How long does it take you to get to work? I don't know, 10 minutes. And eventually you save up your money and you buy the car because you see how convenient it is for Bob. And then it's like you start talking to your neighbor. What's that fucking thing do for you? Oh, well, yeah, I showed him how to use the bush trimmers, so he knows how to do that now. I don't care. He can't use the riding mower, but he can push the lawn just fine. Doesn't matter if it takes him 5 hours. He doesn't get tired. He just plugs himself in when he's ready. And then it's like, okay, can he make dinners? Sure, if he looks up a recipe, which is already in his brain because he's connected to the internet, you got the ingredients, he'll figure it out. It's like, damn.
Then he starts criticizing your cooking. Like, needs salt.
But isn't that the number one thing? Is now you don't have to walk on eggshells. Like, honey, how's the meatloaf? Oh, it's great. It's great. You wouldn't add anything. Not a thing. Came out perfect. Where Optimus is just like, hey man, why don't you throw some fucking nutmeg in there or something? Like maybe knock off the salt. I'm trying to keep oh, okay, not a problem.
Right.
And he just fucking does it. And you don't have to fucking be like gentle about his feelings because he has none.
She asked you how the meatloaf is, and you give that answer. Mer, go ahead, do that again. The fake one.
It's delightful. Well done,
Andrew. I can tell by your heart rate and your blood pressure that you're lying to your significant other, partner.
Why don't you walk off to your cubby hole there, Optimus?
The partner at the
end. Partner.
They're all cowboy themed.
Where does it? I guess I mean, are these things set to drive soon? Are they going to need driver's license?
Here's the thing. Well, then you bring us to the next one. He also introduced his autonomous robo taxis. He's claiming within the next year he's going to have full self-driving dialed in, at least in your city landscapes, maybe not like in my neck of the woods. And he's talking about, it's the same computer. That's the wild part. The same computer that's in my Tesla that he's also going to put in these robo taxis is what's driving the Optimus robot, and it's just a different form. It's just in a different shell, and so it's the same brain working a different piece of machinery, and so you won't need. So in his world, Elon's world, you don't need an Optimus to drive because you'll just call your Robo taxi, which has no steering wheel, no pedals. You get in, go to sleep, wake up, you're where you want to be. That's actually the least plausible one to me. I feel like having a robot fucking make me a fucking couscous is fucking more reasonable than like hailing a fucking robot taxi.
Yeah.
Couscous is nice though. That's good. That'd be fucking. That'd be a nice. That's a nice perk. You know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Will humans ever fully get over this hurdle of not being in control of the vehicle?
I think some of us will. I think I'll always be on the edge. I put mine in autopilot every now and again, but as soon as I take my hands off the wheel for more than 5 seconds, I'm like, really don't want to do that. I just, and when you're going around like a sharp, like actually we were coming back on 95 and I had it on, and it's that long sloping turn somewhere between Northeast and Elkton, and it feels like the car is getting too far to the left line. Like I'd like to hug the right line a little bit better, and it just wants to stay. No, we'll stay right in the center of the lanes, like just making your nipples start to sweat. It's weird. So I guess eventually, but the thing is you get on a bus, right? You get on a subway. I mean, you're not in control of that. I just think it's so new that those of us born after like 1990 are probably going to have some issues.
Yeah. I wonder if the people who just the horse and buggy thing for the better part of their adult lives had the same anxieties once cars started getting more prevalent. You know, I actually read about the transit because this got me going about the transition of, were there times in, say, New York City in the early 1900s where horse shared the road with cars, and the answer is yes. And
absolutely.
One of the, well, I know that I know, but it's something I never really did a lot of digging into. I knew it existed, but I wanted to read the details and the specifics.
Yeah,
and the thing that kept coming up, the thing that was prevalent was cleaning horse shit.
Yeah.
It was all over the road, and finally humans just had enough of it. Had enough of this shit.
Well, dude, you say that, but like I've made the mistake of like taking a day trip.
But then we killed the ozone layer.
What did the ozone layer have to do with horse shit in New York
Right,
City?
so the gases. But anyway,
Well,
the cars.
Like, you ever drive back from fucking Lancaster on a fucking Sunday afternoon? Just all the Amish like making I don't know, like community church or whatever, man. It is literally butts to balls, just horse and buggies as far as the eye can see. And those roads are all hills, so you got to pick your poison. I'm surprised people don't die every 5 seconds driving south.
Well. I do. I did see that video where he gets. You can't unless they're. I didn't see a video of the crowd size. That seemed to be a relatively decent sized crowd because the round of applause that he got when he got into the car and the car took off, and then he did the hands up like look I'm not driving, oh and car, it doesn't even, I say the car took off. The car accelerated to a safe mile an hour, 20 to 30, and whoo, off he went.
But the weird part about those robo-taxis is, so you drive it to your house, or it drives you to your house, then you get out, and you've got it, apparently you have it signed up for a rideshare program. This is how he wants it to work. So like when you go to bed at night, if somebody needs an Uber, your car will just be like, I'm going to go pick up Stacy from the rendezvous.
Oh, it's community? It's like communal?
I think you can have it that way. So it'll earn money for you while you're like asleep or not using it. And then if you immediately need it, you just hail it, and then when it's done with whomever's in it, it just comes right back to you. I mean, that could honestly, that's the taxi system of the future. But again, in a cityscape, that doesn't work in Conowingo. But again, huge innovations. That brings us to the fucking robot. And once again, it made my heart smile when Alan was like, "That's fucking amazing." That's fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, man. Cool shit's cool shit. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. The engineers who produced that are fucking phenomenal.
100%.
Yeah,
But
I get. Go ahead. I answer my question. My question is like where, the helping the human. So the human that purchases it, it's theirs, and they buy it with the intent to do a variety of household things, or outside the household. Where does it end? Yeah. Hey, I've been jerking myself off for, let's see here, about 44 years. I could use another hand that's not my wife's.
Yeah.
Whee! That's when the firmware comes into place.
Yeah. I think that's when you have to get a little hack in there. But like, or maybe you just have to like, or maybe you're like, hey, Optimus, could you maybe rub this cucumber for a few minutes?
What if you like?
Sure, partner.
What if you have to get it like unlocked by your doctor? You know what I mean? Like you're like, hey doc, I got tennis elbow. I can't take care of myself. Doc was like, I got you, buddy. Optimus, here's a prescription for fucking jerking this guy off. And then it unlocks the ability for Optimus to just give you handies.
I mean, it's your.
Well, yeah, it is your robot, so it seems weird.
It's got to be your robot.
But see, but the other thing too is like, will Optimus like snitch on you? Does it have like voice pattern recognition? Like if you ask Optimus like, hey Optimus, hey, what was she doing when I was at work today? It's like, sorry boss, that's between me and the wife. Like, no, fucking tell me. I don't if it hears you ask, it won't tell you. But if she's like, go ahead and tell him, like, okay, she had me finger blaster on the couch for about 45 minutes.
Here, smell my finger, partner.
Yeah. Now I'm only getting one if it's cowboy themed. I don't care what anybody says.
I think I have the model that Alan wants. Okay, it's going to be second or third gen when all the bugs and all the kinks are ironed out, and it's a little less expensive. It's at the mainstream, but Alan's going to go for the mini version. It's a small person. It's even cheaper. He wants like a 3-footer.
Yeah, I like that. They're probably way more nimble. It's probably a quicker robot overall. It's not as clunky. Fucking yeah, I'll take that as long as it's got the same. As long as it's got the same brain, quote unquote. You know what I mean?
As long as he can pump my keg in the corner of the fucking house, I'm fine.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, when I'm done watching this VHS, rewind it for me, all right? Thanks.
Damn. Are they VCRs too? Is that an attachment? You think?
Dude, how baller would it be if they get a fucking like projection screen, like, or whatever, like a projector in the middle of the forehead.
From the eyes.
Yeah. And you're just like, hey man, put on Gladiator.
Yeah, I'm thinking like you say, it's connected to the World Wide Web. Now my mind's racing about just common computer issues, both laptop and my PC that I have set up here, that I frequently have, that I dive into Reddit forums and how do I fix this? And voila, like, dude, just sit down and fix the fucking thing. Okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. I don't have to deal with someone like, have you restarted your computer? Yes, 6 times, asshole. Christ.
Yeah. I mean, just aside from that, like everybody, they like the Amazon, like Alexa and the Google Nest or whatever the hell the thing is. Like, those are convenient if you got a question, but imagine you're just sitting there watching TV. Like, Optimus is literally on the couch watching TV with you, and you're like, hey, man, what's that actor's name? And it's like, oh, that is Doug Stanhope, famous stand-up comedian. Very rarely appears in television and movies, but he also has some credits with The Man Show. And, like, holy shit, thanks, Opt. That.
Hey, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Come on, let's go. Chop, chop.
Let's spice this up a bit.
I was thinking this is like the so easy a caveman can do it, and like, not cool. Like, if you're watching Star Wars and they make jokes about droids, he's like, that's not cool. Oh, God. I'm going to go to the other room.
So primitive.
Yeah.
So derivative. I'm walking away. But, Wes, did you see the... I don't even know what he's calling the fucking tower. It's something out of Godzilla. like the mega. What's the Mecha Godzilla called or whatever? It's named after that, and it you saw it catch the fucking Falcon
Yeah,
heavy
dude.
booster.
Two giant fucking sets of tongs that closed simultaneously and caught the rocket. I won't say midair because it did slow down. It did get down to a velocity that was, capturable. Yeah, I watched that. I've watched it numerous times from numerous different angles. It was impressive. It was wild. And so what? Okay, I guess what was the purpose of that? To prove that he could do just that thing in a safe manner?
Well, when the regular boosters that they land have like kind of like fins that fold down like feet, and it lands and it holds itself up. That thing's bigger than I think it's bigger than the Statue of Liberty. It's like 250 some. It's 2.5 stories tall. It's heavy. So what was happening is when they were landing it, it was so heavy that structurally it was crushing itself, and so they weren't able to reuse them. So he's like, "Fuck! I mean, this is the one thing that makes this process affordable. How do we save this one?" So he's like, he literally told the engineers, like, "Is there any way we can just catch it?" And they're like, "What, you want us to build a tower?" He's like, "Yeah, can you do that?" And like, "We can try." So this was one on, one off. Fucking, they did it. He told them, "Let's try to catch it out of the air." And they were like, "All right, it's your money. We'll spend it. We'll try it." And it worked. So he was just as excited because he expected it to fail, at least the first time, get close. But the fact that it fucking did it the first time is amazing. So now what it'll do is it'll now attach that. They'll go through, do their repairs, refill it with fuel. Then the Starship will get pulled up to the top, swivel over, cap it, and they'll fucking launch it again. It's amazing, dude. Like they said, space travel, and since Elon took over with SpaceX, space missions have been reduced, I think, X20. So, like, there's a graph, and it's up here, and then when Elon does SpaceX, it dips, like, to below even, like, the Apollo missions.
Ooh,
and affordability.
I wonder if there's gonna be competition for astronauts,
Oh, what do you mean? Like NASA versus SpaceX?
Yeah, where do you want to get employed? I mean, right now it's a monopoly, and I'm not saying NASA's bad. I'm not saying that's don't be an astronaut for NASA. No, I'm not. These people certainly don't need career advice from me. But I'm just curious if there would be a little competition.
I think
to be employed by.
I think Elon gets one, and then I think NASA provides the rest of the crew. So I don't think NASA's going anywhere. I think they're like the training ground, and I think if Elon wants to hold on to his like super duper classified military contracts, he's going to have to send their folks up in his shit.
Play ball. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Well, good week.
Definitely.
Good month for old Mr. Musk. And then, so next we have professional baseball in New York City.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Next.
I gotta say, everybody expects the Yankees to be here, and I would say they're the and then the Mets are the look, man, the Mets have been impressive since post All-Star break. I mean,
do you know how? Real quick, any idea, ballpark guess how much dead money they have on their payroll?
What do you mean, like as in like players that are?
They're paying players that don't play on their team. Every team in Major League Baseball, sans maybe like a handful of really low level market teams that have low payrolls. But the Mets have one of, if not, I think they're top 3. I have to check again. But dead money, yes, it's the players that haven't been on the roster this year or that haven't played a significant amount of games. It's 2 players.
Is it
a lot?
Is it Bonilla and somebody else?
Well, Bonilla's a little bit, but it's Scherzer and Verlander, and it's like $52 million.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 52 of like 240.
Hey, whatever. Dead money Doesn't matter. They got further than my fucking Baltimore fucking Orioles. We got some
I'd like
dead
to have
money.
some dead money like that.
Yeah, damn right. We got a Chris Davis, some Chris Davis dead money out there.
A little bit of Bonilla, a little bit, not a lot,
Yeah,
but a little
pinch.
bit. Yeah.
He gets sprinkled in every now and again.
And they also, I didn't realize they're paying McCann, the Orioles catcher, like $7 million. There's some other dead money, but those, Verlander and Scherzer combined. I think Scherzer pitched 9 games for the Rangers this year, and Verlander pitched 3/4 of the season. He had Tommy John and came back, I think, May or June, and that was a big piece of their, them winning the AL West. But yeah, combined, it's like $52 million. Ugh.
But I'd just say the performance of that team, like post All-Star break, is impressive. I mean, they basically weren't even going to make the wild card hunt, and then they did, and then they've just. Look, man, I'll say this as an Orioles fan. I feel like the difference between the teams that have moved on and us is I feel like, and I want us to have fun. Don't get me wrong. I think it's fun to watch fun baseball, but I feel like there has been some sort of like anger and fuel. Like if you look at like Philly and who was it? The Padres, and who were the Padres playing? They were like getting in fights like
Dodgers.
every night. Yeah, Phillies Dodgers. Like that was just like. These people hate each other. There's a fire. Like, there is an inferno going of competition between these people. I just feel like the Orioles went out there and were just hoping to get some drinks off the Homer hose, and just didn't have that piss and vinegar, gasoline and fire aggravation that propels sports teams to the fucking championships.
That's fair. I was there for both of them, and it was pretty sad. So yeah, I'd agree with that.
A single hose, just to get on base hose would have been nice.
Literally anything.
A hard contact hose.
Yeah,
that's right.
There was multiple situations where it's just literally put it in the air, and nope.
Yeah, there was a writer for Bleacher Report who said he felt like the Orioles let the Yankees off the hook because the favorable matchup for them in the DS was the Royals, because the Orioles played the Yankees so hard. But and up until listen, we got on like I was texting you guys at 8:45, thinking like, okay, Yankees are going to go up 3-0, and as soon as that went to extra innings, I was like, you got 9 o'clock? You guys sure? We push this to 9:15, and Cleveland pulled out. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch the home run. It was incredible, amazing. 2 outs. If they don't get it done, they're down 3-0, which is more or less a death sentence. I think it's like, what, 1 in fucking a gajillion in the playoffs, and we know what that one time was.
Yeah.
So, God, hopefully Cleveland can. I mean, yes, I'm not rooting for the Yankees. I never will. They're a Mount Rushmore of teams that I hate, and my hate for sports teams has dwindled as I've gotten older. Simply not because just because my love for sports hasn't dwindled. It's just because I've got like, okay, what's the point of hating something like that? What's the point of losing sleep over something like that? The Yankees, whew, boy, it's still remained up there. And the Terps have left the ACC over a dozen years ago, and I still hate Duke basketball. But man, it just the Bombers are playing good baseball, and I don't know where this is going to go. But the Mets. Yeah, man. I was at a game at Citi Field. It was one of our, let's check out another Major League Baseball stadium a year. And I was impressed with that stadium. I was impressed with the crowd. I was impressed by getting heckled by someone like, hey, you fucking Orioles fans. Yeah. And I was like, there it is. I love it. Thank you. I'll take that one.
That's funny.
So next we have Rogan,
yeah, dude. Joe Rogan has gotten the most free publicity for his podcast for not committing to anything that I've ever seen. Like, so there's talk of maybe Trump going on. Like, he said something like, "Yeah, I think I'm going to do it," but Trump says everything like that. Like, he'll say it's going to happen, and then he'll be like negotiating for it to happen, and then. The Harris campaign was like, yeah, we're looking into being on the Joe. Have you talked to Joe? Because that would be the way you look into being on the show. Because Joe has said 1,000 times that, like, I only talk to people I'm interested in talking to. And, like, last year sometime, he's like, I'm not interested in getting involved in the politics of politics again. But he might. But
I would like to see where a staff member's legitimate quote unquote we're looking into it is. Like, what, did you listen to a Rogan podcast and just talk about it over coffee and that was it? If that's the case, you haven't looked into dick. You haven't looked into anything. Now, I don't know if the Harris team has, again, looked into it, but I don't know. I've looked into doing a lot of things.
Sure.
A lot of things. And my looking in definition sure as hell isn't anything serious and a lot of shit that I've talked about doing.
Well, Alan, as the okay, who would that go better for, Alan? If let's say Trump does one, Harris does one, who does that go better for, and why doesn't it go good for the other one?
Oh, hold on, you're talking about it not non-debate, them on
just
as
on
guests. Okay,
as Joe Rogan saying, like, I'm not taking any of your suggestions on how this goes. It'll go how I'd say it goes because it's my fucking show and it always has been. Who benefits and who fucking curses the fucking aide that got him fucking signed up?
I mean, that's a tough one, man, because I think like Joe's kind of one of those guys that's middle of the road for the most part. You know what I mean? So like, if you got Trump on, I could see him calling him out on some shit, but also being like, I could see that. You know what I mean? On some other shit, which it depends on what that shit is, whether or not Joe's fucking a crazy person or a reasonable person. It's hit or miss, and there's a big library of stuff that Trump could say that could fucking go either way. With Harris, I don't know. I don't know how that goes either. Like, it might, I think it'd be fine, generally speaking, but I don't think, like, either of them really moves the needle with, like, I guess an undecided vote, if that's what, if that's the barometer. You know what I mean? Like, Rogan's pretty middle of the road. He's going to challenge them both. I think both of them are fucking have their fucking canned responses. If I think one thinks better on their feet, I do think it's Harris. Fucking my man sometimes just gets a little fucking crazy. Fucking yeah, sure, he goes off the cuff, but none of it, what he says matters or means anything. So
I haven't heard a lot from her that means a lot when she goes off the cuff.
I think. Yeah, I mean, I've heard a couple more recently because she's getting a lot of criticism off of that. But yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, I think the bell curve for Harris would be more drastic than Trump on a platform like Rogan. What I mean is that I'm not saying like you're gonna know what you're gonna get with Trump. I just think it's like hurt or help. Not so much. But I think with the Harris, it really depends upon how much she's willing to taper what she says on a platform like Rogan. If she's just like, no, I'm keeping my peripherals in front of me. I'm going by the textbook. I'm going by what my staff has instructed me to say. Or if she just fucking cracks the training wheels off and not saying flies off the handle, but goes down some sort of rabbit hole that Rogan's like, okay, yeah, we'll elaborate a little bit more on that. And start spilling the beans a little bit more. So I think it could hurt or help Harris more than it would hurt or help Trump. I think her, again, in my opinion, in a platform like that, that's how that would pan out. It would be interesting. I think personally, as someone who's not supporting Trump personally, I would like to see his interview more than Harris.
Oh yeah,
I think that would be much wildly more entertaining. Yeah, more worth my time.
Well, he was on Flagrant, Andrew Schultz's podcast, and yeah, he was doing a lot of those fucking like standard Trump dancey fucking like kind of storyteller things that he's done before. But what I'll say is like Schultz asked him, he's like, Schultz knows Don Trump Jr. And that was the most glib I've ever seen Trump being asked about his kid. And a funny fucking story. This thing is totally relatable. I haven't heard anything like really relatable from Harris. And I think that she would get like, I feel like she would run out of those canned answers in like 30 minutes. And then Joe would like look at his fucking Omega watch and be like, we got 2.5 hours left, Like, whereas I feel like Trump, hell or high water, good or bad, whether it's a fiery conversation or a fun conversation, Trump could go as long as you want him to go. Like, he says a bunch of nonsense, but he can give you 3 hours of nonsense. Whereas I don't know how long, like, she would be able to, like, last it out with
That's reasonable.
like
Yeah.
answers.
That's a good. I mean, being a shitty interviewee in that setting doesn't necessarily make you a good or bad candidate for being the president. You know, that those are mutually exclusive.
I agree.
But if you're willing to go, if you're going to look into being on Rogan, you better be willing to do 2.5 hours.
If you want to do 3 hours
Q&A.
of bullshit, yeah.
Yeah, so you gotta have your ducks in a row.
Well,
or excuse me, your ducks in a pond, in an Ohio pond in a row.
That's right. Well, the thing with Trump too, though, is he's already been president, and for years I've heard Joe talk about like if I got to interview a president, well, I guess Harris has kind of been in there too, but in the lesser role, but because he's dying to ask Trump about aliens, he's dying to ask Trump about like, so when you get elected, do they pull you into a room and say, here's all the real shit that's happening? Like he wants to know all that stuff, and Trump can weave his way around answers and suck up time.
Yeah.
Whereas I just don't know, because I heard her on the Breakfast Club and that did not go well. But Charlemagne the God can be kind of a prick when he's asking questions. So there's that too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But tell me about the Kennedy assassination. Well, it was a wonderful. Well, it wasn't a wonderful assassination. It was terrible. It was awful.
Actually, they
Most
say it was
awful.
a good shot. I don't know about shots. I mean, the guy that shot me, I mean, he was even further away. You know, like how that would go.
God. And finally, I didn't know about this, and I don't know necessarily if they've had a good week. Murr, you said there's a chance that they could have a better week, better month, better year, or better life for themselves. But the Menendez brothers with Eric and Lyle.
Yeah, dude. It's Menendez.
Menendez. Sorry, what did I say? Melendez?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, wait a second.
It's been so fucking long. I was actually thinking about this. I haven't thought about them in so long that I had to reread things to dig up stuff in my subconscious about what I did or did not remember. Because I was laughing because I rewatched stuff from Cable Guy. Remember when Ben Stiller was like doing the parody of it? He was like, oh, I think he was Asian or something. But okay, so Menendez, both Eric and Lyle, go on.
So, back in '96, I think they both got like life sentences, no parole, yada yada, for shotgunning their parents in their home. And then the other part of that is then being from one of the wealthiest families around, they let's go spend some of our inheritance before anybody finds out. And then they went out and they did their thing. They came home. And no one had searched the house yet, and there's their parents like still rotting in the living room. And I don't know all the details about it, but I do know that they shot their parents because they were both being abused by the dad. The mom knew, nobody did anything. The older brother basically called out the dad, and when the older brother did that, he moved on to the younger brother, and they both just fucking had enough, fucking snapped, fucking shot their parents, go to jail for the rest of their lives. But in the trial, they weren't allowed to talk about the sexual abuse. So now that this documentary series thing has come out on Netflix and people know the full story, they're like, well, shit, these guys should get a new trial. We're in a new world now. Back in the 90s, like, they were like, you fucking kill somebody, that's it. Jail for life, right? Well, now they're like, there's extenuating circumstances, and they've already done, like, 30 years. They're model prisoners. They've taught other prisoners how to read, write, get their fucking degrees. Like, they're like exactly who you want a prisoner to become. So it's like they're of no threat to anybody living now.
So what's
I guess that's fair.
the defendant's plea that you're trying to get this down to
Time served.
to manslaughter, time served for manslaughter. Like, hey, you abused the shit out of me. Yes, I did kill you, but that's because you were abusing the living fuck out of me, etc. Is that? I mean,
I guess maybe
am I grasping that correctly?
We'd have to ask our legal counsel a little bit more. I don't know exactly how this will go down in a courtroom, but essentially, like, they had a reason to perform the action. They felt like they had told they wrote a letter to like a cousin or I don't want to know. I don't know what relation the family member was, and apparently they just like crumbled it up because that was the bread and butter of the family. Like, they were fucking millionaires. Like, yeah, we're not gonna fucking turn dad in because I like my Rolls Royce in the garage, so suck it up, Eric. And
Yeah.
and then they had enough and they fucking snapped and they fucking shot their parents. And now people like Rosie O'Donnell, apparently the rest of the family structure is also like, hey, come on, they've done their time. Let's let them out. Alan, what do you?
I heard real quick at Apple Video, like Kim Kardashian was chiming in, and I didn't realize she's done enough relatable work to where she could be considered a paralegal, and all of a sudden she has an expert opinion on matters like this. Shut the fuck up. Fucking, you have a donk, and Ray J fucked you on camera. That's it.
Well,
that's where your expertise begins and fucking ends. Maybe you made some clothing lines. You probably didn't. Someone designed it and you modeled it.
I personally think, and this is Alan, you're not going to believe this coming from me. I personally think that Kim Kardashian is a lot more intelligent than people realize because her intelligence does not sell her beauty line products. I believe she actually has some kind of law degree. Her dad was a lawyer. She's running part of $1 billion empire. Like, you're not dumb and doing all that.
I'm not saying she's dumb, but I'm okay. We can look this up. The education that she has received in law is not equal to a law degree. I think she could be a paralegal somewhere.
Maybe, yeah.
And then if again, like consider the source. Murray, you've told me to do that dozens and dozens and dozens of times in my life. When I hear her be like, the Menendez brothers should be set free, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. If it comes from someone else, perhaps I'll consider it. Not you.
Yeah, I agree. Just because you get to a point of like success doesn't necessarily make you intelligent.
That's true too. But I would say in cases like this that she's gotten herself involved in, as an influencer, I mean, what do you always hear? Like, you want to influence the jury. So if you influence public opinion, and if somebody like Kim Kardashian, who has a lot of influence, positively influences your case, it can flip it on its head. And I got to be honest with you, considering what we know now about like childhood trauma and what that does to your fucking brain, what if you were in that situation and you wanted it to stop and you had the off switch in your hand, you know, they
Hold on. What were you going to ask Alan? About the Menendez brothers?
Now, he had a question about the Menendez brothers.
Oh, the Menendez brothers. I was just reading about their shopping spree, though.
What did they buy? Like, what did they go out and do?
Yeah. They were so struck with grief that they purchased.
But that's the thing.
They bought 15,000. So they spent 15 grand on 3 Rolex watches. Lyle bought a $64,000 Porsche Carrera. Eric opted for a new Jeep Wrangler.
The thrifty one.
Smart.
All right.
Yeah.
Smart. In the LA Hills, yeah.
Lyle put a $300,000 deposit on a $500,000 restaurant in Princeton, New Jersey, where he went to college. That was Lyle. Oh, Eric decided not to go to UCLA, and he shelled out $50,000 on a tennis coach in hopes of turning pro.
Nice.
That's the list that I have in front of me.
Huh.
I'm sure there's other stuff like McDonald's or In-N-Out Burger.
See,
The In-N-Out Burger got me.
See, their purchases don't weigh in their favor, because if I was an attorney that knew anything, I'd be like, these aren't the purchases of some guys who were expecting to get caught and just wanted to go on a spending spree. These are the purchases of some guys who were like expected to get away with this and have like something to like look forward to when the trials were over.
Yeah,
that does not bode well for them. 'Cause, like,
courtside Knicks tickets.
Yes. So this is weird. I pride myself in being knowledgeable, and I don't know if you want to consider the sport, but in a 1990 NBA hoops, not Tops, Upper Deck, Fleer, Don Russ, NBA hoops, which I didn't even know existed, was a trading card. Mark Jackson, who then played for the Knicks, there's a picture of him in his 1990 trading card throwing a bounce pass, presumably to Patrick Ewing or Xavier McDaniel or Charles Oakley, don't know. Sitting courtside are the the Menendez brothers. And I actually asked 2 coworkers of mine, people who were my age, about this, and they were like, "Oh yeah, the Menendez brothers are in the background." I was like, "You knew about this? Oh yeah, a long time ago." So I'm one, glad that I found this out. 2, kind of bummed that this is quasi public knowledge. I just have never figured out. Thank you, Instagram. I found that out. But they have hats on. They're like, go Knicks, go.
Yeah, that, and I will say, wait, whose card was it?
Mark Jackson.
Yeah, that's the whole. Mark Jackson's having a good week because his fucking playing card, because of the Netflix documentary, has now like quintupled in value. It was like a 10-cent card, and now it's worth, like, I think they said you could fetch somewhere between $20 and $40. And I'll tell you what, if you wait a month, you might get a little more than that if they should make their way out of prison. You might get yourself a good old grant for that one.
And for those of you who are watching, not listening, but watching, here we go. And then there's old Mark Jackson, and voila. There they are, right there.
There they are.
No,
Right there.
then that's courtside. That's right there. Voila.
Yeah,
Look at
that
those
is
short shorts.
courtside.
Look at those thighs. Look at those things.
Very
Like
much.
the knee brace, it was just a rubber sleeve. So here you go, man.
They invented this thing called neoprene, Mark. Would you like to try it on?
This will keep your knee in place, Mark. You'll be good. You'll be tip top.
He played another 10 years. He did well.
Wow. Yeah, but I do think the look, man, that is a good inaugural like best month ever. I think for us, like seriously though, I think Elon's going to change the world. I think the Dodgers are going to win the World Series. I think Rogan will have one of the 2 candidates on, probably Trump. I think Harris will probably realize, if she has any sense, that that's a bad fucking idea.
What-
And I think
I'll tell you- hold on, wait.
getting out.
Will you give me the field against the Dodgers?
Look at you, Mr. Burnsing it up over there. Yes.
Ahoy hoy.
That kind of just came out of my mouth.
Think about it. Mull it over. Mull
What
it
do you
over.
want? I'm not
$10
even gonna
bucks.
bet.
$10
$10. No, that's like my whole DraftKings account at this point.
Fair enough.
Big spending.
Fair enough. Well, folks say, look, if you've ever been fired or let go by a company, this next situation is a doozy. I doubt that you have taken action like this person took action in this week's Friend or Foe. Murr, let's hear it.
All right, I'm going to read a news story to you. See if you agree or disagree. Friend or foe? Now, there's a woman. She was leaving her job. And as this thing loads, and I kind of pad a little bit for time, it's coming from the Daily Mail. Employee has sued her old firm for sexual harassment because she didn't get a leaving card, even though the boss only decided not to hand it over to her because only 3 people elected to sign the actual card. That's so fucking tragic all around. The story's not loading up for me, but I'm not even going to need it. It's not loading. It's like, look, I can't get any more out of it.
Want me to see what I can do?
See what you can do. But bottom line really is this. So the lady's leaving. I don't understand how sexual harassment comes into play. I don't know what her justification for sexual harassment actually is. But it sounds like the boss made an executive decision because it's not that he didn't want to give her a going away card, right? Because he actually had the card. He tried to send it around to the rest of the office. It's just no one liked this bitch enough to actually sign the card wishing her a farewell. This has happened in my place of work. We've had people that have had things happen in their lives and there were cards that were passed around and I'm like, I don't really like this motherfucker all that much, so I don't want to wish him well. So we're just going to go ahead and say, move on to the next person, would you please? Sounds like her entire office basically moved it on. So the friend or foe is actually going to be this. Has nothing to do with her sexual harassment charge. You're the boss. You buy the card. No one signs it. Friend, you give it over to her anyway. Or foe, you hold it back because that's more embarrassing than getting no card. Wes?
Shit. I mean, there's a part of me that if I'm the boss, I'm not even trying to conjure up a fucking farewell card. It's just like, farewell, pack your shit, get the fuck out of here. The money that we've paid you is more valuable than the card in and of itself. But 3 signatures, and you're burning a bridge. Yeah, that's how many people value your employment here. Fuck you. Those are your friends anyway. What were you expecting, something from Jerry down at the mailroom? Jerry hated you. How about Doug, the fucking janitor? Doug found you hot, but Doug's married, and he'll never cheat on his wife ever, no matter what advancements you made at Doug. As a matter of fact, Doug is filing for a sexual harassment suit against you because you spilled your coffee after he had mopped all over the floor, and you just kicked it all around.
Alan.
I don't even remember what your question was after that tirade. I love it.
Friend, do you give her the card? Foe, no.
So
yeah,
like,
you
you're
give her
the
the card.
boss.
Yeah.
3 people sign it, even though you bought the card. 3 people sign it.
Yeah.
You give it to her?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't give a shit. Like, hey, man, here you go. Like, I think, like, me, you get, like, I inherently get points because I gave you the card, right? So clearly I cared. I don't. But I'm feigning interest because I'm a manager. That's what I'm supposed to do. And then fucking the 3 people that mildly like you signed it and said, good job, champ. Cheers. Best wishes.
See you next
know what I mean?
summer.
Yeah, shit like that. Like, what? Who the fuck am I to interject? Look, this is the life you've created for yourself, person who works in an office. So yeah.
So your philosophy is like, this card is the bed that you've made, and now you can lie in it with your 3 fucking coworkers out of 40 who elected not to fuck. So 37 people passed you over, and see, to me, all right, I'm management. Obviously, I feel like I would get in trouble because I would probably not give her the card. I would end up going out and buying her a blank card with no signatures on it and giving that to her. Like, that would be my alternative. I would not give her that card because I feel like that would spark more animosity than the card with 3 names on it. So I feel for this either HR person or CEO of corporation that elected to not give her the card because he's gonna have to go fucking face up to this in court for some fucking reason. And so I'm going faux. I'm keeping the card because I feel like she's obviously the type of person that her feelings get hurt quite easily. I mean, she's mad because she didn't get the card. Homeboy's saying, like, no, there was a card. It's just the presentation of it would have been worse.
Right. There's a lot of empty canvas there. Would-be signatures that didn't give a fuck about you. By the way, reading into this a little bit more, this is a good one. Someone used the word whiz, W-H-I-Z, and then someone went on later on and corrected it, W-H-I-Z-Z, and they found out because it was different color of the ink. And then this was in a reference about at the end of a Teams call, someone asked her, before they closed it out, they thought she left. She's like, "Are you going to take a piss, Karen?"
And that's sexual harassment?
It's on the card, I guess.
God, man. And see, look, ladies, just got to tell you, this is why we have a hard time with this whole equality in the workplace fucking argument that you try to make. Because as soon as we try to treat you like one of the guys or just one of the folks, you get all uppity and fucking angry about it. Like, we can say, the shit I say to my fucking male coworkers, and thankfully where I work, the shit I say to my female coworkers, everybody's got a fucking duck's back, just water dripping right off of it. But then you get this cunt. You get a cunt like this, and she doesn't find any humor in anything. To me, that's funny. Like, to me, that's a great farewell. Like, hey, remember that time in class you were taking a piss? I wrote it in your card that says farewell, so you'll always remember it now. And she's, oh, that's sexual harassment. Like, no, you're sucking all the fun out of the fucking workplace. Goodbye.
Yeah, because W-H-I-Z infers cheese whiz. The extra Z means pee. Totally different. Totally. It's just semantics, buddy.
I think this is out of the UK. I think maybe they meant like you're a whiz, like you're super sharp and quick with things, and then they turned it into piss.
Okay. I have a good workplace story. Okay, I was telling a coworker of mine that I thought it was funny that my team captain for a men's soccer team that I play for on Sunday is his name's Steve Martin. I didn't find this out until I'd been playing for the team for a month, and then he jokingly said, "Oh, your wiener cousins with Steve Martin." I said, "No, I didn't say that." And a young lady who works for the marketing team says, "Wait, your wiener cousins with Steve Martin? That's amazing." I was like, "Okay, sure, yeah." She's like, "Who are your wiener cousins with? Is it your fiance?" And I was like, "God, I wish." I wish Sarah had slept with Steve Martin. He's 77, but I don't know how that worked out. If the shoe's on the other foot, I don't know if they're taking that like so kindly.
That's a good point. Like who'd your fiance fuck, lady?
Yeah.
I have a feeling that would go.
Alec Baldwin.
Get in trouble.
Yeah, that would go poorly. Now look, man, look.
That way, hold on. If the shoe was on the other foot, that meant I would have fucked Alec Baldwin, which I guess I would have. I don't know, but.
My point with like women in the workplace though is like, if we're really gonna be equal, like I'm gonna have to tell you poop jokes, make fun of your haircut, mock you at every turn in the corner, probably give you the finger in the parking lot as we walk by as a good morning salute, hello. There's a guy I work with. I don't think I've said 3 words to him in fucking 5 years. I just give him the fucking bird every time I walk by him. I think I actually, when I do speak to him, like, what's up, fuckhead? Like, that's about it. That's about the breadth of our conversation. And that's okay. And we like it. We smile, we chuckle, we move on. But if I did that to, like, if I did that to, like, some female employees, they might be offended by it. And that's their problem. You want an equal work environment. This is the environment that we've fucking... we've made this environment since the dawn of time. It's right where it needs to be, okay? Have fun. And fuck off with your 3-person fucking signature card.
Yeah. We can I think we can agree. It's like the sexual harassment video that you're supposed to watch on your onboarding process where it's like, this is appropriate. Hey, Karen, me and the guys are going to go out for drinks afterwards. Would you like to join us? No, I'm okay. All right, maybe next time. This is inappropriate. Hey, Karen, me and the guys are going to go out, and we would like you to join us for margaritas so you get pissed, smacking drunk, and show your tits, and we can throw dollar bills at you and maybe pee on you after the fact. Or fuck you. I don't know. Either or, doesn't matter.
Hey, your choice.
Inappropriate. Like, we can agree that that's nonsense. But, yeah, if you're going to be around these people for, 40 hours a week, presumably, there's going to be some filthy shit said.
Yes. And like I say, man, that's the one great part about my blue collar fucking job is that everybody fucking takes it on the chin, and it's when we're allowed to speak freely, we do, and it's funny, and it's a good time.
When you're allowed to whiz freely, 2 Z's, you do it.
Yeah. Oh, I've called this one chick a serial killer like every day for like the last 3 months. It's been awesome because people keep dying on her route. I'm like,
There's a common denominator here.
I haven't heard anybody else dying on anybody else's routes. You're trying to get less work the hard way.
Sounds like the Menendez brothers.
And that, my friend, is the friend or foe. I think it sounds like the friends have it. I'll be in the foe category, and I'm okay with that. I tried to spare her feelings, but apparently I end up in court, so... I'm really the loser here.
Yeah. Feeling schmealing. 2 Z's. 3 or 4 Z's, whatever you want. All right. Burr, feed us. I'm Seymour, I'm hungry. Feed me.
Seymour? Let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday. OMG facts brought to you by our good friend the Cuckster. You can find the Cuckster over on Instagram. It's Cuckster for life. That's Cuckster, the number 4 life over on the Instagram. I heard that the Cuckster's big idol actually has a beer that is available sporadically nationwide. Wes,
the All-American Hulk Hogan lager. And I about shit my pants once I found this out. But then I had to pull that fecal matter back into my large intestine or my
It's
my
actually
bowels.
small intestine.
Small intestine. Okay, sorry, but my anatomy is a little not up to date.
No, I just remember that because I always think like big poo, small river.
Gotcha. But you can only buy it in certain cities. There's like 6 or 7 on the website. But damn, oh man, yeah, it is a super jacked Hulk Hogan with an American flag and him reigning over, I don't know, just leg dropping the country and an atom bomb going off in a 12-ounce can.
Well, it's in the neighborhood of Brother Dewey Love, and I definitely think we should send him out to grab at least like, I don't know, what, like 3 6-packs minimum, more. You said 6 cases or something. I'm just imagining Brother Dewey Love loading up the fucking like CRV with a fucking all-American Hulk Hogan beer.
I'm picturing like when Brother Dewey Love bought me beer for senior week. That's what I want. Like, we just, me and my buddies got a small list. Shit. All right, I'll get the shopping cart.
Did he actually buy it, or did he like translate Grand Marnier into fucking Busch Light?
No, he bought it super reluctantly and with a $75 bribe.
Nice. Oh, he took.
Yeah.
I'm
back
proud
in
of
2001, you know, it worked out. He did it. He said no. He said no 1,000 times, and I finally got him. When you say yes once, whew, that's it. It's locked. It's in the scrolls. It's in the scrolls.
Though. I mean, here's from his perspective, I get why he was reluctant because he knew that you were gonna give him a fucking. I know the West Fox list. What's the big deal? It's just all this stuff. I've written it all down. It's on the scrolls. Can you get all this? I would have bought you beer. I would have said I would have told you get like 2 to 3 bottles of like hard liquor and the rest of it's beer because I don't want to be inconvenienced like shopping.
That's all. Okay. But that's all we did. It was all cases of beer and like two handles.
Okay. Well, that's fair. And then he's a dick for charging you $75 as your fucking brother. Jesus.
Yeah. We knew it's like that. Hey, we know we have that Meat Lovers pizza in the car. We knew we had that half pound of weed on the way down.
It's important.
Let's get to it.
Very important.
Especially, okay, and by the way, for anybody, like, this has to, okay, we have to add a little bit of a caveat to that. Like, this is, let's see, is that 2000, the year 2000 for you?
2001.
2001. So, you know, anybody who graduated, like, I'll say 2015 or before, probably a little bit easier to have that pound in your car. Back then, we had to fucking make our way to somebody we didn't know who fucking had a trailer in a town we didn't know, and you had to fucking, like, just pray that you weren't going to fucking end up dead in a driveway before you got out of there with said product. Now you can stop on Route 40 and get whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't involved in the purchase, but I do know that someone said, "Here's my $550." I would like one half pound of the grimiest, seediest shit that you have.
And they handed him a fucking brick of grass-like substance in a fucking Ziploc freezer bag.
It was in a half-gallon fucking, yeah. Oh, yeah. And we smoked every drip job you can imagine.
Well, let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you on a Friday. Did you know the average person has more than 1,460 dreams a year?
1,460. So you're looking at what, like 2.5 to 3 a night?
That's what that says. And I remember like maybe 10 of them a year. So that's a lot of psychedelics going on inside the old brain pan that you don't remember.
Hey man, your dreams can come true if you work hard enough. If you put in the elbow grease, if you dream it, it can come true. That's what they say. And I said I'm pretty sure I can't fly or run, beat Usain Bolt in a race, or anybody for that matter.
Alan, as a salesperson, I want you to grade my line here. Wes, the line is "Living the Dream," and I will start it with, "Hey, how you doing?"
Living the dream.
Well, nightmares are dreams too.
I like that.
Okay, good.
I like that. I say avoiding the nightmare a lot of times. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Well, see, that's a good. If you were in the West spot there, that's a good line to me. Like, that's my retort for your fucking lame ass bullshit, fucking cliche. Living the dream. Man, nightmares are dreams too. And yeah, I get a good chuckle out of that one. That's my go-to.
Or I go the self-deprecating route, and if I say I'm living the dream, I say I think they call it living the dream or something like that. People are like, "Ha, you fucking dick." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
Oh, you're about to attend a coke orgy? Man, that's awesome.
I got to come up with one where I'm the dream come true. I got to figure that. I got to figure out how to a phrasing for that. But yeah, I didn't realize, because I don't seem to have a lot of REM sleep these days. I'd say I'm probably below average on that list, but 1,400 seems like, I don't know. Dreams are fun when you remember them most of the time. I'd like to remember one of those over 1,000 dreams a year. That'd be great. Thanks. Did you know pepper is the top-selling spice in the world? The second is mustard. But I have a question. Is this just like ground black pepper that they're talking about? I mean, pepper just seems like it spans. I mean, you got what, crushed red pepper. You've got then you've got just. Do I consider like a jalapeno a spice, or is that a fruit, a food? What is that?
That's a good question. I don't. That's a broad spectrum if you start including like various chilies and fucking peppers and shit. You know what I mean? I think it just has to be limited to maybe like I don't know, spices, but which spices?
And then
just like
mustard.
White pepper, black pepper.
But then mustard too. Like, are they talking about like mustard seed just ground up, or are they talking about that shitty slag that they put in fucking yellow bottles?
No, I think it's spice. It's got to be the ground mustard seed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is odd to me, because I mean, like at this point, I'm starting to question, what do you consider a spice? I mean, is a garlic powder a spice?
Yes, I would say yes, but then garlic's a whole different thing.
Maybe I'm limiting it to my Anglo-Saxon American brain. Maybe, there's an entire world out there of people who purchase and use spices.
By the way, I want to sue, like, I'm targeting them like McDonald's, but like the McCormick brand, just black pepper. Like, what is that? Is there really any added benefit to putting that in a recipe? Because I recently bought an actual pepper grinder.
What's what I have?
And I'm like, oh, that's what pepper tastes like. That shit in the can doesn't taste like anything. It's just not even there. It's just like a fucking, it's just powder. It's a non-flavored powder that you're just adding to your recipes.
What you need is the medley with the coriander in it, the coriander balls. That right there, that's the key.
Dude, I never realized.
Coriander balls.
That sounds like something you would yell in the outfield if you missed one, like coriander balls.
If you didn't take third on a double at a softball league, coriander balls. Should have hustled that one out.
But about 3 years ago on this show, Wes, you said something about cumin. You're like, ooh, you smell that? That's cumin. Because we were talking about like the spice trade or something like that. And ever since then, I went into my fucking cabinet and I was like, oh, cumin. And I decided to start making, what can I make? Recipes that use cumin. And I've come up with some bangers, man. Cumin is that's like my number one spice now, man.
It's a universal spice, man. It is good. It transcends all genres of cooking, at least in my opinion. Unless you want to get down to some very bland. There's some Greek recipes that you're probably clashing tastes, but for the most part, cumin adds tastes to everything.
Well, I mean, you think about like the salt wars. I'm like, okay, I get that. Like, we take salt for granted. Like, that's a pretty universal, quote unquote, spice. We don't really think about it that way because It's everywhere. Like we care so little about salt that like when it snows, we dump fucking Lowe's buckets of it on our fucking driveways. Let alone like fucking fighting a war over fish tasting better. You know?
We piss in it when we go swim in the ocean.
Yeah. But yeah. The thing I've never been able to grasp, like, India has like all the spices. Like, and I've never gone to an Indian restaurant. I did try making Indian food at home one time, and it's impossible.
Between curry and gram masala, those two right there.
You gotta go. Yeah, you gotta go get it.
Yeah. I do like the curry wings at Buffalo Wild Wings. Those are delightful. That's my.
So that's like Indian. You know, that's like Indian food, kinda.
That's the closest.
Indian adjacent.
Yeah, that's the closest I've gotten to a good Indian dish.
Yeah.
Man, you've never had like a tiki masala?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Oh God, I think you and your fam you guys would devour every square inch and every ounce that's on that plate, and then you guys would sit around the television and pat your bellies and be like, "Oh my God." And then an hour later, you'd be like, "Oh my God, what the hell did we do?"
Sounds like my adventure to Denny's this afternoon. Did you know? In Toy Story's most productive week during production, this is the original Toy Story, Pixar completed 3.5 minutes of animation during their most productive week.
That's crazy.
It's probably when Buzz Lightyear was like, "To the moon, Alice." Right?
That's it. That's the scene.
Thought so.
When the toy from Toy Story threatened his wife with fucking domestic violence.
It said, "One of these days."
That's what's great is William's gotten into a big kick of watching like the old, like I'm talking like 1920s, 30s, 40s like cartoons. Oh boy, I'm glad he doesn't understand things yet because I'm catching a lot of stuff that's not appropriate by today's standards. But yeah, the 3.5 minutes. I watched a documentary about how they made the original Toy Story, and most of that's like rendering. So like you have the
processing speed to render what you've just edited.
Yes. So like you've done it on the computer, but now you actually have to like blend all those kind of like, for lack of a better term, like CAD elements all together into an animated process. And the computer has to just like, well, I guess we'll see you guys in a few days. And just wait for it to all fucking come together for 3.5 minutes.
That's interesting because when I edit this podcast for a variety of things, if I put on our logo or just change the aspect ratio, even when I do the entire podcast, it takes about 20 minutes.
Yeah,
on an hour and a half. Now, granted, I'm not claiming we're doing Pixar related Toy Story rendering or as you mentioned elements like that, but yeah, that's got 3.5 minutes. God, how long did it take him to create
a week?
A year?
A week? Well, that was for the 3.5 minutes. So I mean, if you're talking about 100 or like 120 minute movie, do that fucking math, man.
Let's see, how many dreams do I have? How many Pixar dreams do I have?
Well,
6 months probably.
And what's amazing too is all the cartoons that I see William watching now are all done in that original, like how we had real shitty animation when we were kids. Like, Disney would animate like every quarter second of emotion, whereas when we got Saturday morning cartoons, they were animating like every half second. Like that animation they used for Toy Story is basically the standard for all cartoons now. So they have to be zipping through. Like it has to be like 5 minutes now. I'm rambling.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Did you know? The U.S. has the most English speakers of any country. A close second. Bueller? Anyone?
India?
Alan?
Yeah, no, China.
India is the correct answer.
Makes sense. All those fucking telemarketer farms.
All those bobs.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Douglas.
My name is Douglas.
Douglas.
No, it's not. I never get that. You're a telemarketer. You're in India. You call me. You tell me your name's Bob. And I'm just like, bullshit, Bob. It's not Bob. Like, what's your fucking name? Just tell me your name. I don't care if it's like Akash, whatever. It is what it is. Just tell me the name that you actually have that matches the sound of your actual voice. And I'll talk to you for a few minutes. But you've already number one, I would say this, Alan, as far as sales is concerned, don't start your pitch with a lie. If you start your pitch with a lie, I think you're a liar, and I'm not fucking listening to the rest of anything you have to say.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty standard practice. Try not to lie. I mean, no, they're to find a lie and a bend of the truth. Here, it's this.
Well,
there's a little nuance here that I think that you're missing, but yeah, generally speaking, I don't lie to people.
If his name is Babul, right? If he's like, hello, my name is Babul. I go by Bob. I'm like, oh, okay, what's up, Bob? Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But tell me your name's Babul first, not fucking Bob. That's not how we start this conversation.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying, but also does everybody named Robert got to be like, hey, my name's Robert, go by Bob? You know what I mean? Like, is it just because his name is Babul and he goes Babul that you need to know that his name is Babul instead of Bob?
I gotta say, I'm already suspicious because if Bob sounds like I do, right?
Yeah.
If Bob's like, hey, how you doing today? My name's Bob. Like, okay, I buy that. But if I come in with like, hello, my name is Bob. Like, no, you can't even pronounce Bob. It's not Bob.
All right, I'm gonna get real here. I usually pick up on the fucking Indian ones because like it takes a second for the phone line to click over. Like you're like hello, and it's like, yep, hello, and you're like I'm click, like so that's like a dead giveaway. Honestly, I like the person I least like is actual Bob's because you pick it up and it's like, hey, it's Bob with the Fraternal Order of Police. Just calling, see if you can help our guys in blue. No, Bob, I'm not. Goodbye. Click. Like, so honestly, I hate that guy more than Babul.
That's fair.
Quite frankly.
Though I will say the Fraternal Order of Police are using the same phone line that Babul is using now.
Yeah.
Because this is my move, by the way, Alan. I'll say, hello. And then I'll hear the line click over. And as soon as the line clicks over, I go, hello, so they can hear me say hello.
Yes.
And then they'll start their pitch. And then I'll stay silent. And as soon as they're done their pitch, I hang up. I pretend I didn't hear them. I'm like, nah, you couldn't answer me the first 3 fucking times, Babul. So goodbye. I
like what you did there.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
And finally, did you know? So far, man has survived on Earth for 2 million years. The dinosaurs lasted 150 million years. Did they make a fucking robot that can mow your grass? Did they? No. Did they catch any robots out of the sky? Don't fucking see any evidence for that either. Fuck the dinosaurs. We used our 2 million years to its finest.
I heard it was a meteor. They were all fucking meat eaters. We also haven't had an asteroid that collided. There is that.
There is,
and we have that. We have that to be thankful for. Think about that. We should be thankful that fucker blasted at the top of the Yucatan Peninsula and just suffocated these fucking grimy bastards into extinction.
God damn right. I've never rooted for death so hard in my life. Thank you for that, Wes.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, you gotta make room, man. You gotta make room. Sometimes you gotta clean the garage, and when you do it, you gotta fucking did somebody poop on this? I'll keep it, but not this one. This tool going away. I don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
And if you think about it now, like, I mean, if it had happened when we were, less primitive, spears and, writing our history down on rocks with other rocks, perhaps it would have been a different outcome. But if you do it now, we blow those puppies to smithereens. It would be air bombing velociraptors, having T-Rexes in amusement parks somewhere in Costa Rica for people to look after.
We're getting there. They're close to doing the fucking mammoth, which I'm okay with, I guess. But if we bring, I know we talked about
what's the point? What's the point of that? Why do they want to do that? What significant good? What good to humanity can you have by bringing the woolly mammoth back?
Okay, if Andrew Murr was in charge of the project, the point of that would be to prove that we can do it, and then we don't have to feel bad about causing current animals to go extinct. Because then if we're like, look, let's let them die, and then if we feel like we need them in 10 years, we'll bring them back.
Okay.
But I got this real estate project that I'm really hot on right now.
Gotcha.
And fuck these tigers. They're just in the fucking way.
Do you think you would have some sort of like peel back the curtain moment? Like, folks, this here is the rebirth of the woolly mammoth. And then you actually hear the curtain like, eek, 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 eek. And this thing like walks out and breaks both of its legs like,
it's just a monstrosity. Can't support its own way. Yeah.
It has some real pussy ass fucking howl.
Yeah. Like it's got a tusk growing through its trunk. You can't properly fucking use it. It's just
Like
that's the woolly mammoth, folks.
This is just a concept, okay? This is concept. It's just, just proof of existence. That's all I'm getting at with this. We're working on it. Bob,
we did.
Bob Bull, come here. Tell him more.
We didn't cook this one long enough. We think we're gonna go back in the lab here. Get to work.
Perhaps there's a little osteoporosis that we have to sort out. We'll get
calcium levels were different back in the day. We're working on it.
That DNA might have been a little funky. Is all we're saying.
But realistically, my version of bringing these types of animals back, if you look at the ancient, whatever the archaeologists, the stories they fucking made up about the mammoths living with man, is like
dinosaurs. Yeah.
Early man would, like a village would take down a fucking mammoth, right? And then they would use the bones to build a fucking hut structure, and they would use the skin to fucking put walls on that structure. They would use the fur for coats and this and that and this, the meat for eating. If we bring the mammoth back, I say, find a big swath of fucking Siberia, tell the Russians, like, we're all in this together, and then we fucking harvest them for fucking resource. We make them a resource, a harvestable resource, and then when the environmentalists and fucking pussy-ass PETA bitches come up and be like, well, you can't do that, you just brought them back to kill them, we say, yes, we brought them back to kill them for people to eat and live. They're a resource. So I just feel like if you're going to bring something back, to your point, Wes, what's the point? Let's find a point if we're going to do it. Not every animal gets to fucking live again. Though I did hear that they brought a dodo back recently.
Nice.
How'd that go?
I guess okay.
Finger
licking. What's the point?
So here's the thing, with the mammoth, is it pinpointed directly at man, or was it just the fact that the ice age was ending and their habitat and their area was dwindling? It's kind of like a combination of both.
I think a little bit of both. The elephant is a descendant of the mammoth and therefore took over because it was more evolutionarily adept at taking over the fucking land masses that they were on at the time. I mean, they found that fucking one like perfectly frozen, like a baby, like in the Arctic, and that's what they're going to use to try to. But they're going to have to implant it into an elephant. It's going to take like, I don't know, like 5 to 10
7 generations. Yeah.
Like 5 to 10 generations to like get, and it won't be 100% pure mammoth. It'll always have elephant DNA, but they're like close enough. I mean, if you just want to fucking see what it looked like, okay. But like to your point, what's the point? But if there is an animal, like, let's say Australia had some, because Australia fucked up. They had, like, I can't remember what it was, some invasive species, and they're like, I know what we'll do. We'll bring in some fucking house cats. They like to catch that shit. And now they fucking have, like, hunting season for fucking feral cats. They fucked up. Like, if there's a reason, like, because whatever, if there's a reason to bring back a species, then let's bring them back. Like, if they help the ecosystem in a certain region, fine. But if you're just doing it for funsies, let's have a reason for the funsies.
Yeah.
Mammoth burgers sound good. Let's do that.
I know this also sounds a bit, I guess, hierarchy, if you want to label that, in my opinion. But I also like looking at Australia. If you were to categorize it, it's like, if you want to like lay it over the United States, west of West Virginia and east of Nevada is completely uninhabitable. Mm-hmm. It's like when I hear about like, oh, Australia, they're doing this, I'm like, oh, fuck off, shut up.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah.
Your number one export is fun. Like, that's it. Like,
right. Yeah. Which is fine. I dig that.
Sure. Absolutely. But, like, okay, they've got the most deadly venomous species of creature in all the world. Like, does the mammoth like to stomp on fucking like snakes? Let's do that then. Let's put that out there.
A woolly mammoth in Australia would do well. Yes. I mean, that puppy would just, shave it, of course, before you just uncork it into the outback. To switch up a couple genes.
I'm using this as a very poor example, but like if there's a species that could come and like, there's got to be a reason these poisonous fuckers like run rampant on that continent. Like, so let's find something that's immune to poison and have it go around and eradicate all that shit, and then we can all enjoy Australia without looking over our shoulder for fucking spiders, snakes, snails, fucking platypi, whatever the fuck they are going to kill us.
Yeah, koalas that can touch each other and get past gonorrhea. And
give you like fucking AIDS. Yeah,
it's hot. Yeah, so hot, so sexy. Oh,
AIDS koalas and shit. Yeah. It's no good.
I've got AIDS. It's not the real AIDS though. It's just koala AIDS.
It's just koala AIDS.
It's like the AIDS that my parents' cat had.
Christ.
I forgot your cat had AIDS.
I told you it had a tooth infection that gave it kidney failure. I told you guys that.
I know, but it had an autoimmune deficiency syndrome, which is AIDS, and it's just hilarious.
Yeah. Well, it was like one of its canines had this. I mean, this fucker was like obviously inflamed, and like, yeah, we should just extract it, pull it out, and then before they got to that point, they're like, yeah, his kidneys are failing, he's dead.
And by the way, don't you think the cat community takes offense to the name of that tooth? Huh? Like a canine in a feline? Not fair. Yeah. Not fair.
Call it like a feline 8 or something like that?
Something. Just not that. Cats, dogs, mortal enemies. It's like fucking Palestine and Israel, man. You just fucking opening up a can of worms there. Giving your cat AIDS like that, Wes. How dare you?
I think that's offense to the worm community. Open up a can of worms. I don't know. I don't like it.
Why are they in there in the first place, man? Shit. Yeah. Fucked up. And that, my friends, is your Fun Fact Friday.
Now we're talking about worm AIDS.
Worm AIDS. God. Tonight on Before You Go, speaking of can of worms, a robotic quote-unquote finger could perform your next intimate physical exam. That's right. Researchers have developed an ultra-sensitive human-like robotic finger capable of safely performing routine physical examinations like a medical doctor would. They say the Robo doctor could be seen in medical clinics soon. All right. So you can imagine. I mean, listen.
What you're doing? Okay, why? Okay, there's softball in that entire phraseology. What exam was it, Wes?
Physical examinations is one of the most widely available, effective, and safe approaches for detecting early findings of lumps and other signs of breast cancers. In traditional Chinese medicines, doctors take a patient and
they're gussying this up. They're gussying this up. Show a
I think
picture.
we're thinking about well of the
Yeah.
All right, okay. I think I get what you're getting at here.
I mean, they're trying to like make this a universal product.
Uh-huh.
That ain't titty touching. That ain't your titty touching device.
No, that's ladies and gentlemen, that's a prostate. And depending upon how big your prostate is, they might need to get an extender out there. They need to put in the 7 or 8 incher or 9.
It comes with a bunch of attachments. It's fucking, there's the anal beads attachment. And
They're like, fuck, man, we made a prostate toucher. How do we sell this thing? I don't know. Just don't say prostate. However you say it.
They got that crazy octopus tentacle. And fucking, yeah.
This is okay. This is like so weird to me to say this because I asked the question about where do we begin and end with this AI driving you around. Okay.
Hey, Optimus, I need you to check something for me.
But if a doctor says, "Hey, listen, this thing instead of me is gonna put my finger in your pooper," I'm like, "Yeah, cool," and it can do everything you're gonna do. Oh, it can do everything I'm gonna do and more. Wonderful. Don't want your finger in my asshole, doc. Send in. I don't know what fucking centipede X1000.
See, I kind of wanted to do this one as a friend or foe as well. Alan, okay. What do you feel is more like?
But wait, there's more.
Okay, do it first.
Because it can also pivot a certain amount of degrees.
Really hit those walls, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not straight in or out. It can go up to 40 degrees left or right.
Well, apparently, you can go fucking right real fucking hard.
Shit. And scratch your fucking stomach. Jesus.
What do you feel is more like? I don't know. I don't want to say invasive. That doesn't sound like the right word. I don't know, like demoralizing. Like the doctor himself going in, or the doctor sending the robot in, because it's not like the robot's doing this. Like the doctor's got to like line up like Luke Skywalker trying to fucking put a photon torpedo through a fucking blaster hole.
The doctor rolls it in and goes like, "Hey, this is Boo Ball."
Babul's got a fucking.
This is Babul.
Go on.
So you got the doctor, and he's fucking like wheeling this thing in, right? Like a gunner in a fucking World War II fucking plane, lining up to your asshole, and then he's got to be the one to like push it in, or would you rather than just go, "You're good"?
I mean, I'd probably rather have just the guy fucking tickle my pooper. Just make sure everything's good to go.
I feel like I'm in Alan's camp with this one. This guy's taking the Sibian and fucking shoving it up my rectum, where he can just take his finger and be like, right here. Because then there's shame for both of us, right? I'm getting a man's finger stuck in my asshole, and another man's got to deal with the shame of sticking his finger in my asshole and justify it with his degree.
This is
As
clearly new
opposed to a man controlling a machine that's going to be up your asshole.
This is clearly new technology as well. Like, I mean, what number am I? How many test drives has this guy taken it on? Is he fucking accurate? I don't know. Like, how old is this guy? Did he play a lot of arcade games? What's his Galaga high score? You know what I mean? Like, I need to know some shit. It just seems like a risky business. I could just, gloved up and KY'd fucking indexer. Just get on in there.
Like the old-fashioned way. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I will recant my stance on this a little bit, because initially I was assuming it's like, hey, I'm going to wheel this in. I'm going to leave the room. The machine's going to take everything. Now it seems as though it's, hey, I'm going to wheel this machine in. I'm going to stand behind the machine and watch the machine do this to you while I read the report. Okay.
Yeah,
that's a little dicey. Yeah, just put your finger in there. Get it in there.
I feel like if he's got literally skin in the game, if you will. And he's got to get dirty too. Like, I got to get on all fours. He's got to get dirty. It almost feels like he's sodomizing you when he's stuck taking the machine. It's like, oh yeah, let me, yeah, right there, yeah, turn it on. But I will say the machine's probably got a lot of very, very fine sensors on it that probably are more accurate and can detect things that a doctor with his little fucking index finger, hopefully not his middle finger, can touch up on. That, you know, that human hand.
I lost a sensory in my pointer. I usually do this with my middle. Hope you don't mind.
Speak for yourself. It's a fist. Just get the little bad boy in there.
We got a thumber right here. Yeah.
This is my most sensitive finger. Get on up here.
I call this here my prostate cancer finder.
It just slaps it on the table and fucking you gotta sit on it.
Pardon the pun, but like, no shit, they can probably, if they work on this thing, there will probably be a suppository in the near future. Like, if this, okay, so this finger, right? I'm sure it's got sensors on it. What?
Sorry, I got an idea though.
Yeah.
What if you attach this to Optimus? And he's like, howdy, partner. Your butthole's healthy. You know what I mean?
Talk about firmware.
He said, your watering hole's not contaminated. Just, you know, good stuff.
Oh man, I think wow, that's good stuff right there. Oh yeah, no, you're right. I brought Optimus could. Oh boy, he can hear all in one, man. You tell him your symptoms. He can get in there. It's no shame. Maybe you have to reboot him. Put him back in factory settings when he's done. But...
Make you a vodka gimlet.
Vodka gimlets are delicious, by the way. I never realized how much.
Pretty
So.
good, yeah.
Good pull, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, we are done with this. We're done with the little thing. We'll see where this goes. Anyway, Alan, tell all the people who perhaps need a mechanical finger up their pooper to where they can find the
It's
glasses.
www.robodoc.com fucking for all your robot anal exploratory needs.
Which are many.
Yeah, so many. But if you want to follow us assholes, please check us out on all your favorite social media platforms. We're at MDL Classholes on Instagram and Twitter. We're the Middle Class Holes on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube and shit like that. And of course, for your listening pleasures, check us out: Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. That's it. That's all our shit.
We got a few listener comments that I want to get to this week. This first one actually all of these come from TikTok. The first video is uncovering dark secrets of tiger farms and sex cults. That's where we talked about Doc Antle. Hippie_cactus writes, it's Florida, not surprised. That's funny. This one comes from Bob.
Doc Antle himself.
No, Bob. BME. I don't know if you remember the video, but the end of it is just us going like,
Yeah.
yeah. He says a bunch of manly mouth noises. What are you gonna do? That's wild.
Well, because we were talking about throwing. We were talking about throwing baby tigers and or sex trafficked women into incinerators when you're done with them.
we had a collective 10 seconds where all three of us were like, yeah.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Bob, thank you.
Yeah, you're the winner this week.
Babala.
Next comes from can we make cheap food delicious and nutritious? Murr, you went on a long rant like, what are we doing in America? Can we make nutritious food cheap? Millennial_nostalgia, who's been liking a lot of our videos, has been one of our super fans on TikTok. Thank you very much. Writes, food subsidies. If the federal government didn't subsidize food, ground beef would cost $30 to $35 a pound. You want healthy, cheap options? You need federal subsidies.
Okay, good point.
I'll just trust that TikTok handle right there with some economics. I don't know.
I think we need to close this out with a.
Man, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? All right, folks.
By the way, I didn't say it at the top of the show. Once again, great shirt, Wesley.
Oh yeah, it is good.
The Shane Gillis tires, Valley Forge Automotive. Dude, that's such a sleeper show. If anybody hasn't fucking
really
watched
good
that
show.
motherfucker, dude.
Shameless plug. I bought this from it's tpublic.com. tpublic.com. You can get goddamn nearly anything you want. I watched 3 episodes and I was like, I wonder if TeePublic has this. Sure enough, and then
they do.
7 beers deep. Boom. Yep. I want this at my house. Here we go. Voila. And it's form fitting. It makes my tits look great. It makes it hides my belly. And God, I feel good.
You know what? Go ahead. No, I was gonna say I might check that out because I've been rewatching Silicon Valley, and all of those tech startups on Silicon Valley have fucking phenomenal T-shirt ideas.
Oh, I'm certain TeePublic has it.
Yeah.
Well, and by the way, Tire Season 2 is currently being filmed.
Nice.
Now with real money, not just Shane Gillis. I want to make this thing money.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, nice. Sorry, I tried to hide that one. That's for all you woolly mammoths out there. Hope you enjoyed that.
Thanks, Cuckster.
All right. Good night, folks.